Hello there, and welcome to Real Talk with Angry Soccer Mom. And I am angry today. I'm just kidding. I'm not angry, just a little frustrated. But this week's discussion topics, as always, are anything you feel is newsworthy about racism, bigotry, and inequality in America. And just about now, maybe precisely right about now, uh, that's everything. Sadly, that is everything. So if you're here, say hi. Hashtag standing, hashtag on truth. Hello. Thanks for being here. Oh, was I in a mood today? So nails and glitter. Yay. We have a lot to talk about. And I really want to know what you think because I think we've hit rock bottom today. I really do with the trial and everything. Thanks so much for being here. So jump in and tell me what you think. The show is meant to be an opportunity for viewers to speak, my friends, viewers, to speak their mind, and also to serve as an educational tool for white folks who really need to know the truth about systemic racism in America. And we do love our racism. Yes, we do. I'm laughing because I could be crying. This is like, it's insane. Anton, hello. Thank you for being here. I'm really sad about our nation right now. And I guess I was in a little bit of denial. Well, I mean, when it really is happening. Anyway, Letitia, hello. I know white people are racist, and it's really, really hard because it's causing a hell of a lot of problems. It's just so much. And yes, Mark Z is very much. He kicked me off completely. I'm off. Well, I guess he was nice enough, if you could call that nice, to give me a way to download all of my stuff I've done. So I have it in one little thing. I'm really, if I was wealthy, I would totally just, Letitia, I'd like to think personally, but I'm not that arrogant. No, his people kicked me off completely. Everything. Anything that you see that's on is because I am sneaking. About 4 months ago, I noticed they stopped sharing everything of mine. No explanation, nothing. And they just stopped sharing it. And so I was like, dang, what did I do? I didn't know it was them. I just thought people were just, ignoring me or whatever. And I was like, hey, whatever. But then I noticed I had a couple tester people come to see if they were getting my stuff, and nobody was. I had 3 people ask me why I quit Facebook. I'm like, I didn't quit Facebook. They stopped sharing my stuff. So, and I tried to get a hold of him. No explanation, nothing. He wouldn't tell me anything. It's a him. His people wouldn't tell me anything. He could give a shit about me. But anyway, I think we all know that Facebook is pretty freaking racist to begin with. From if you saw the hearings he had with the House, it was he has absolutely no clue what's going on in his own company regarding diversity training or anything like that. And so he kicked my ass out big time. No explanation. His people would not tell me why. They just played dumb with me, kind of. And I'm devastated. I mean, I worked for so long to try to get, a lot of white folks to follow me so I could educate them. And he and his folks, with one little doink, lost 50,000 people plus, and that's it. So enough about me. I will live. But people who are taking this crime against humanity, and that's what I call systemic racism, I don't know who else does, but I do, is they might not live. You guys might not live because it's not a real good place. Let me just, it's really, really, I might lose a few people here, but I absolutely understand what you're saying, and I don't get him. He's obviously has some major, major issues with, and I did a couple specials on this, and he believes that calling someone the N-word is synonymous and the same type of cruelty as calling someone, you might want to sit for this, white. That's just goddamn ridiculous. He doesn't understand the power differential. It's been made crystal clear. I've read a number of articles on him, and I've seen him talk, and it's not good. He basically either that or he just doesn't give a shit. And anyway, I don't want to bag on him the whole time, although I really do want to. Oh, thank you, Quentin. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's so sweet. I'm kind of all over the place today because I was in a pretty bad space. I couldn't advertise, for the live show today because I don't have any groups. So I was pretty bummed. Yeah, here's the thing. I will never do this, and I'm going to be really upfront, and I got to be me. I will never go after another historically marginalized group, not comparing. I will never go after them and blame them for what is white supremacy. And I know a lot of people like to go there. I won't do it. So I get what people are saying. I'm not trying to shut your voices off, but I will never. You tell me, I've had people come on and say, it's the LGBTQ community that's doing it and all. And I'm like, I'm not going there. I have to have some sort of I can't do it because I'm a white person, first of all. And secondly, I know who's responsible. I know what group is generally responsible. And it's the white folks. It's the white folks. And of course, white folks can never be oppressed. We're in power. It's ridiculous. People don't get that. And he clearly does not get it. And I can't attribute that to his religion. I don't even know if he's a practicing whatever, but I can attribute it to him being a jackass. I can't go there because I can't put everyone in the same thing. I won't do it. But anyway, as I'm going on and on and on, it's just, I'm sure a lot of other people probably do that, but I won't go there. I won't do that to the Muslims. I won't do it to the Jewish people, and I won't do it to the African-American, Hebrew Israelites, anything. I won't do it. But Mark is not a good guy because he has all the power, and he forgot that with great power comes greater responsibility. Isn't that like, I don't know, Spider-Man's thing or, so it's a real toughie for me. I don't get people like him and Trump make me sick, not because of what they're doing, but because of the loss of what they could be doing. They could use all their money and all their power and prestige to actually bring some equity to this nation, bring some equity and make it so that liberty and justice for all actually means something. They could use their power and money for good, but no. And that makes me disgusted, mostly out of my white privilege speaking, because if I was wealthy, that's the first thing I would do. And I wouldn't do it for anyone but me because it's the right thing to do. And that's, I don't know, I was cursed, what can I say? But they make me sick. They could be kicking ass, teaching, educating white folks how to act human and to stop their insane construct that's gonna, do us in too. It's just we don't quite catch on to that yet. So it's really upsetting to me. As you can tell, I'm getting very emotional. Anyway, it's white America is responsible for this, and white America needs to step up to the freaking plate. And quite personally, I think it's probably too late. It's probably too late. We've allowed this to go on because, it didn't really bother us, and, wasn't us. And they probably just, weren't trying hard enough. I've heard them all. I know there's, I have heard them all, but I'm not buying it. It's total BS. And anyway, if anyone is new to the show, normally I'm not this hostile. Maybe I am. I'm not sure. But I've been watching the trial a little bit. The trial, the sham of a trial, the joke of a trial. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I work for people who don't live in America. They're not Americans. And one of them asked me today what my nationality was, or what country I lived in. And I said, well, that's a loaded question. And I mean, I love our country, but we are not doing our best. We are not even doing our close to best. We're blowing it. We're screwing up. We've screwed up. So I told them I lived in Canada, and they're like, ah, ha, ha. And I'm like, okay, I lied. Well, I live in Canada until maybe another year, and I don't know. But anyway, I'm blabbing. I am Angry Soccer Mom. I run this YouTube channel. I used to host a whole bunch of groups, host a whole bunch of online platforms where I would teach white folks the truth about our real racial history. And I won't get back into it, but Mark ended that. He and his folks ended that, but good. But I'm still here, and I'm relentless. I'm not going to quit. I don't care if I talk to myself, which I have done. All right, let me take some questions and then we'll go. Anyway, if you haven't joined my YouTube, if you believe like I do, very much so, that it is way past time for white America, yes, white America, to learn our real racial history and stop being afraid to talk about racism and just step up to the plate and talk about it. It's not a blame thing. It's not a mean thing. It's a human thing. Okay, we are blessed with this great, cool thing called humanity. And yeah, I'm a little bitter. And a lot of us white folks aren't using ours. Okay, you can be afraid as a human. But the cool thing about it is we have a brain and we can think, is that logical? And you can analyze and you can research, and it's so cool. And we're the only animal that can do it. And when we don't do it, we harm our brothers and sisters. We're all related. I hate to be the breaker of news here, but read the Human Genome Study. We are relatives, and we treat each other like shit. And I don't mean back and forth. I mean, we, the white folks, treat everyone else like shit. Okay? It's not a two-way street. Okay? We are all the human race. It's a human construct. So, and, I'll probably drive a few people away with my, upfront. I'm pretty upfront, but this is history. This is truth. This is science. I go with science. I go with real history. I research. So enough about me. Questions. Before you go on, I have a bunch of stuff, and I hope you guys have stuff to say. I want to do quick announcement. Two quick announcements. I started the supposed panels that were supposed to be Tuesday, but most of my friends and people who do what I do online are frightened to go online with their face. And that became very realistic for me and understanding. Not all of them, but a lot of the people who I asked to come on. And I don't blame them one bit. So doing a live show with guest panel hosts is not realistic. So I'm going to do the call-in show. And so we tried that the first week. It went a little nuts, but I'm not giving up. Yesterday, I had the honor of having Michael, a friend of mine how did I find him? We became friends. I saw his writing, and this happens all the time to me. I'll see someone's writing and I'll be like, I have to know that person. I know it's like a weird, I have to know that person. And I was like, I have to know this person. And so I've never really friended anybody because I'm too shy. Yes, shy, you heard me. But if people friend me, like I'll be their friend. Well, I guess that's in the past because I'm not on Facebook anymore. But anyway, he was wonderful. He talked real about reparations. He wasn't apologetic. He said it like it was. He was humane and wonderful, and I loved. So if you get a chance, take a look at that. And let me see what else was there. Yeah, so I'm really, stick with me with that Tuesday show. I wanted to make it a short show, very specific, and a call-in show. And what I really want to do is make it so that people's voice, not me blabbing on, is heard. And since I can't show a lot of people's faces because they're not into it, which I get, they can call in. And so I'm going to keep working on that. And so don't give up on me, okay? Pat, thank you so much for being here. I'm happy to see you. Have you see your name? Thanks. And so it's kind of it's still getting done. So we'll figure out what the Tuesday show is going to be. But and then the other thing, there is no other thing. Let me take some questions. Letitia, good about white people. I can never think of anything, but I try. Is there anything good about white people? Yeah, there is. And it's so hard when, I mean, I'll just say it. I can't imagine what it feels like to be somebody in America today who isn't a white person. I can't imagine. I don't pretend I can imagine. I don't fantasize I can imagine. I don't get it, and I'll never get it. But I wasn't born yesterday, and I know how upset I am about what is happening to my brothers and sisters. And yes, I consider all humans my brothers and sisters. What can I say? It's me. It's a curse. I was born that way. I'm disgusted. And that's why I do this, because I'm disgusted. Not because I want to lead anything, because no way. Not because I think I'm, oh, what a hero, and I want my picture on Facebook, which actually I'll never get it on Facebook again. Oh, so sad. But no, because I can't take this shit. This is just bullshit. This is not how things are supposed to go. And that does not come from the Constitution. That does not come from God. I don't know what it comes from. It comes from inside. This is not right. And I will not stand and watch and do nothing while this bullshit's going on in my lifetime. I just can't do it. So I do it for me because I'm selfish and I can't take injustice. And that is what we do. We do injustice. That's what we do in America. But we don't just do that. We talk about how great we are as we're absolutely destroying our fellow humans. I can't take it. So that's why I do this. So let me see. It's my announcements. Questions. I don't know what's good, but I know there's some really, really good people. You know how I know this? It's going to sound crazy. I started feeling that way. Okay, every other day, I lose my faith in humanity. Well, shit happens, Kim. I know, exactly. I know, I got to get over it. I lose my faith in humanity, one Trump supporter at a time. And that is simply because he told us who he was. He told us who he is from long, long ago. New York, ask New Yorkers. They know about his crap. And if you support Trump in any way, shape, or form, you are racist as fuck. And yes, you heard me say that. Yes, I'm judging you. Okay. The reason you are, and if you're a white person, you are. If you're not a white person, I have no words. It's not my place. Not my place, not my lane. But if you are a white person and you support him, that means you support pure, unadulterated, proud racism. And you might say, I'm not racist, because nobody is. I promise you, everybody. I'm not racist. Of course not. Nobody's racist. Okay, but we sure have a damn lot of hate groups and people who, support somebody who's racist. Here's my take. It wasn't a deal breaker for you. You might not think you're racist, and that's a lovely place to be, because then you never have to work on anything. You never have to delve into yourself. You never have to think, how am I contributing to systemic racism? How am I contributing to white supremacy? Innocent me? I'm not, of course, because you're not racist, so don't worry about it. And that is how white folks kind of roll a lot of times. Not everybody. I don't know everybody. But if they can say they're not racist, they don't have to examine their behavior, their thoughts, their words, etc. Okay, I keep saying I'm not going to be on a rampage, but I'm kind of wound up tonight. Can you tell? So yeah, something good about white folks is that since the beginning of time, there's always been a small amount of people who were considered abolitionists, people who did the right thing, not because, oh, they're so special. Oh, we're all so special. We care. No, because it's the right thing to do. There's always been a small, little tiny, and that is something I needed to research. And I did that a while ago in a very down moment where I thought, you know what? People are sick. And I looked it up, and way back when, there were always just a few. And I bet there might have even been more, because people don't like to write about people like that because it makes them look bad. And you know who writes history? The winner. So there have always been some white people, and that gives me hope. Don't ask me why. Okay, so I hope that answered your question. Quinn, you are so honest. So do whites accuse you of being a race traitor? Oh my God, yeah, all the time. All the time. But see, then I think like, yeah, it's like a really weird thing, but yes, all the time. I just don't put those through. I don't put a lot of the like BS through to my YouTube channel because I think it's not very productive. And I don't know. Some people say, oh, you should put everything through, but oh my God, you don't want to see things. People are just rotten evil. They call me funny things, but here's the problem. Somebody who calls me a race traitor on a very, very basic, and I know you all know this, on a basic level, they're talking through total ahistorical ignorance because we're all the same race, you know, the human race. And I hate to even say that. I'm not saying we don't have pride in our differences and acknowledge our differences. I'm not, you know, working from the era of color blindness by any means, although I was raised in that era. No way. I see shades. I'm not blind, and I won't say I don't. But when somebody says you're a race traitor, I just take a couple steps back and just think, damn, they're too far gone. That's terrifying. Those words are Ku Klux Klan words. Those are not good. A lot of people accuse me of being a race traitor, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry for you. That is my privilege. I can do that because, see, unlike people who are not born Caucasian, even poor people who are born Caucasian, I can stop anytime I want. I can pretend I'm racist, or I can pretend I don't give a shit. I can stop this, but they can't. You all who are not Caucasian can't. You don't have the choice, and that is not right. So it's kind of my spiel, but yeah, you should see the things I get called. Oh my God. Maybe I'll do a video on it. Because a lot of white folks say to me, they're like, oh, racism's, it's, you know, it doesn't happen anymore. Oh my God, they should see. I mean, I'm like, sampling of one here. You should see the stuff I get every day. It's like, these people are like not mentally well people. So yeah, that was a great question. Thanks for asking. I am a race traitor. Yes, I am. Thanks. I will. I just thank you so much. You're so sweet. And let me see, who did I miss? Yeah, so my goal for all this is to not have me blabbing, which I'm blabbing, of course. So let me get going so I can start reading your stuff. Tonight I'm doing a little bit backwards. I have two quick little things that people might have missed. They don't sound incredibly important, but to the people that they're impacting, it's their world. So it does matter. And I talk topics for tonight are a Texas teen who is told you can't graduate unless you chop your locks off, which, damn, I have some issues. Watch the interview with Elijah Cummings' widow, and she had some words to say. My next two topics are Kellyanne Conway's Trump tweet and Doodle. Hello, Doodle. Or am I reading that right? Yes, Doodle. Welcome to the show. And the last thing is the impeachment trial, which I want to know, like, okay, what kind of crap is this? I won't get into it yet, but oh my God, I'm Canadian until, no, I'm just kidding. I want to love our country, but we aren't living up to the best we can be. Not even close. At least the white folks aren't. So anyway, thank you so much for your support. Let's get started. This young man who I believe is 18, according to the Atlanta Black Star, which I go over all the stuff, and this just hit me. He is going to graduate, and I got this article today, actually within hours, and his school decided that he's not going to walk across the aisle because he actually has locks. It's like, are you freaking kidding me? It's disgusting. It's unconscionable. And I'll tell you, me and my white privilege would be raising holy hell if I was there. That's how dare the people do that. Anyway, I'm not going to get all emotional tonight. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But this Texas teen, his name is DeAndre Arnold, and he's been barred from walking across to graduate unless he cuts his locks. That's some sick shit, people. Your hair is your hair. Like, you know, it's like, it's a part of who you are. It's a part of your heritage. It's a part of what makes us human from your ancestors and from it just culturally and everything. And you know what? Even if it's not, it's your freaking hair. Give me a break. So this kid, boy, I hope he stays strong. His parents seem very supportive. He's been growing his hair since 7th grade, and he's a senior now. So, I mean, and his hair looks really good too. I mean, I'm just saying, not that it matters, shouldn't matter, but I saw it. I was like, dang, he takes pride in his appearance. And this kid was given an exemption due to it being, I don't know what the school said, culturally significant hairstyle, whatever it is. He's been doing this the whole time, but suddenly, upon graduation, the rules have changed. He didn't know it, and he's been given this ultimatum. And this is an 18-year-old kid. My God, what a sick. I don't know. So that's. If you have anything to say about that, I'd love to hear your take on it. I'm so sick of this hair BS. Don't touch people's hair without asking. Don't poke at people's hair. Don't talk about people's hair. Don't make stupid rules that are racist as hell about people's hair. I don't know. This isn't rocket science. This is just like human decency. So my next subject, I'm just going to go really fast. It's going to be the fastest show ever. But my next show is Maya Cummings' interview. She's the widow of Congressman Elijah Cummings, a Democrat from Maryland. And she was really upfront with her chat on The View. She said basically that she believes that the ruthless attacks by, Trump and his clan, and yes, I call it his clan, because they are not thinking. They've decided that, or whatever, that they don't have to think. And when you do that, it's really scary and dangerous, because you start treating people inhumanely and not thinking twice about it. Anyway, so President Donald Trump and his supporters have been really all over, their family. We never hear about this stuff too much, but when he goes after somebody, obviously Trump's got some real unstable people who follow him like a god. Well, literally like a god. There's been articles on that too. That's even more scary. But it took a toll on him, and she was not afraid to say, So Maya, I hope I'm pronouncing her name right here, Rocky Cummings, is now running for her husband's former congressional seat. And I don't know a thing about her, but all the power to her. That's all I can say. I absolutely support my fellow women, and I like that she is real, and she's not mincing words and just playing nice. She's just being real, and of anybody can appreciate that. So anyway, she's doing that. She appeared on The View to discuss his legacy and his death, and she discussed the very dicey relationship. Dicey is a very nice way to put it. Those are her words. That her husband had. And a lot of times we see these senators and Congress people who are standing up for what's right, and they seem so tough, but we're not hearing the full story. And they are tough. They're tough as nails. But her family was traumatized. I mean, it's not just anyone saying, things about a congressman. When the president of the United States says something, there are some psychos who, well, I don't even have to explain. I know you guys get this, but he emboldened these people to bombard the family with death threats and whatnot. I mean, it sounded just like a horrific time for her. And I know it's a sacrifice she's making, but my God, this is really sick. Like you need me to say that. So she said they were death threats and nasty tweets, and they just went through it all. And you might recall when Trump took to Twitter to spark this firestorm last year of blasting Cummings, who was a very well-respected guy. I mean, years of service, like since he was a little kid, smearing the place that he resided over, Baltimore, and talking horribly about the constituency and saying there's disgusting rats and rodents and this and that, and that's not how a president talks. We're supposed to be united on that. Well, I guess that's kind of gone, done, flown. That ship has sailed big time. But anyway, Mai went on to say that Elijah was already battling health issues himself. So for the president to come out and do this to him was just horrifically depressing. And I feel so sad for that family that in their last, days and months with their dad, their husband, their hero, that he had to endure lunacy, pure lunacy, racism, bigotry, inequality, you name it, it was there. So what do you guys think? Did you all read about this kind of thing, or have a lot of people are just done? They're sick of all this. They're done. They're out. A lot of people like here getting their passports. A lot of people already got them. I think we're in lots of trouble, and I'm not saying like give up, but I kind of trying to be realistic. My rant today is, Dave, hello. Thank you for being here. Thank you. You liked the program last night. Thank you. I loved having Michael. It was awesome. He is really, really good. I was like, wow, he's really good. It was great to have him. Really great to have him. And I know a lot of people don't want to come on, but he was absolutely wanted to come on, and I was thrilled to have him. So if you know anyone who does, bring them on. I want their voice to be heard. That's what I can do with my white privilege, is use it to actually get people who should be able to talk anytime and have a whole audience. Because see, I don't live this. I read this. I study this. I vicariously, try to get it, but I will never be an African American, a Black person, an Indigenous person. I will never live as an Indigenous person, and I will never truly get it. But I will keep trying till the day I die to understand and to use my white privilege to get people's voices heard. But as you know, Dave, because I know you've been here when I've said that, a lot of people are just too afraid, and I don't blame them one single bit, because there are some really, I'm sorry, Trump and his clan have really brought out the people from, and I know, yes, they were always there. And no, I don't actually hold Trump singly responsible. I hold the people in power singly responsible. Okay. The white folks who seem to have the majority numerically, who allow systemic racism to continue, not just continue, but fester and get propagated. And it is cruel, it is sick, and it's a crime against humanity. And that I did not read that. That is how I feel. And that's my opinion. So my rant today, but thanks for saying hi, Dave. My rant today, Dave's actually somebody I know in person because he lives near me, is about the impeachment trial that started yesterday in the Senate. It's a living nightmare. It's for anyone who cares about the stability of our democratic republic. Now, a lot of people say, screw this country, da da da, and I don't blame them one bit. I'm not judging them, but see, this is kind of what we got. We have this Constitution that actually, being left in and of itself, should be very flexible. It was written to be flexible, to go with the times. We folks who just don't seem to get the whole systemic racism thing, or care, or I don't know what, we're the ones that, if we couldn't stand systemic racism, you bet it would be done and dismantled. But too many of us just don't give a shit. And that's the problem. Because if you don't care and you do nothing, being nice to everybody doesn't cut it. It is not going to dismantle systemic racism. It's just not. It's a system. None of us enslaved humans personally, and none of us were enslaved humans back in the day when a human could be considered not a human. However, we benefit from the free labor and the cruelty and the sick shit we did. I say we as a group, as white folks. Okay. No, you personally didn't do it, but hello, you walk by someone, I say it every time, and I'll just still, because this is like, I'm trying to get white folks to get this. Would you walk by somebody who is slowly drowning in a pool, your fellow human, because you didn't shove them in? Of course not. Would you walk by because you'd be like, I didn't build the pool, so no. So why in the hell do we walk by, basically, our fellow humans and blame them and get into this propaganda BS and believe lies and don't do our own research, and we don't understand. We've been fed whitewash history. We've been lied to. We got to fess up. We've been lied to. Okay, it's a tough pill to swallow, but you got to get over it and start supporting, not leading, not doing it for attention, and not saying, God, I'm so great for doing the right thing. No, we are not great for doing the right thing. Okay, we are great inside us if we think we are great. It is not something that like we get attention for. Okay, doing the right thing is a human thing. So when people say, oh, thank you, Kim, for speaking out, it's very sweet and nice. And I appreciate it. But I do it for me. I do it for me because I can't stand the lie. Liberty and justice for all. Yeah. Even the song. I mean, written by I won't get into it. Anyway, I am blabbing tonight. So we're starting off with some senators. The impeachment trial, what I'm trying to say is the impeachment trial, yesterday, today, it's a living nightmare for anyone who really cares about the stability of our democratic republic. Because that's what we have. We have that Constitution. And for good or for bad, that's what we got to, hope for. And Trump's circumvented the living hell out of it and changed the power ratio. And I think it might be too late. We start off with some senators who already declared that they will not be impartial. Wow. I don't think the founding fathers had that in mind. Just guessing. I don't know. To be a juror, that's a minimal requirement. Minimal requirement, right? They took an oath, which obviously was a lie. The president refuses to allow anyone with direct knowledge to say the truth. It's because he's guilty. Can we please say cover up? It's like I don't want a single witness to testify. Said no innocent person ever. We all know that. This is not like something that's a hard. Hey, James, thanks for being here. This is not like a tough thing to like, wow, I don't know what's happening. No, we know what's happening. He's absolutely guilty and he's being protected by his clan. And it's disgusting. It is disgusting because they love their power. They just love it. And nobody who's innocent ever acts this way. Give me a break. If I was innocent, I'd be calling up people. I'd be having lines of people testifying on my behalf. Hi, Mr. FS Black. Thank you for being here. Come on. This is not like some rocket science deal. A 5-year-old can figure this out. Thank you, James. I absolutely will. I probably talk too much, but I will. Thank you. So I'm thinking right now is the devil himself is pretty much clearing space, going, I see a very, very nice future for the incoming people because I'm sorry, these people, these senators, it's one thing to be, mentally ill, president, whatever, but it's a whole nother thing to sell the soul of your fellow humans just because, I don't know, you want to keep a psycho in I don't know, a psycho in office? I don't know. I don't get this. It's sick shit. That's all I know. And I like jokingly say, the devil's preparing for, I don't really believe in that kind of stuff anyway. I'm agnostic, but it's not good. Jamie, hello. Thank you for being here. So, and you know what? They're protecting a man who's racist, misogynistic, bigoted liar named Trump, if you didn't know. We are not the enemy. The little people, it's the wealthiest elites who love keeping us racist as hell. Because what it does is it makes it, like Michelle Alexander says in her book, it makes us so we never realize we have the same plight. We need to come together and stop this insanity. I could go on and on. These senators are lying through their teeth for this president who does not deserve anyone to stand up for him because, see, he's not a good guy. According to Trump, the Democrats are being radical left lunatics by demanding that we follow the law. So it's like anything can make you doubt if they say it a number of times over and over. It's not all of them, but it's enough. He's getting away with murder, literally getting away with murder. Only a handful of Republicans need to stand up and suck it up and act like humans and demand that we have witnesses and actual information. But I'm not holding up hope. So I'm tired of people mincing words about Trump. And, he's the president, respect. No, people, when I was a teacher, people used to say, don't you call her by her first name. And the other teachers would get really mad at me and say, you shouldn't let the kids call you by your first name. I said, respect is earned. They can call me whatever they want. They respect me. That's what matters. And, I wasn't into the four-letter words or whatever, but nobody did. You can call somebody Mrs. blah, 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 and absolutely despise them. I said, it's earned. And I'm sorry. I don't respect him. I will not call him the president, my president. And I don't blame anyone else who does, who feels this way. You got to earn respect. And I don't think we ask for a lot. But I'm tired of mincing words. The man is a bad man. He is not a man who does this as a hobby. It is a lifestyle. He's like a mob boss. Think about it this way. If Trump didn't have all his money and couldn't buy off all the silence that he does, and he buys off people. Oh, well, we all know that. If he didn't have these followers who are blindly, unethically, inhumanely following, he'd simply be another severely mentally ill man who's a racist, a misogynist, and a very, very bullying type person who truly believes that money's the end all. Money over humans. He's taken capitalism on steroids and taken it to the nth degree. And he's setting precedent for everybody from here on, if we still can even be a democratic republic. I don't know. So people are following him and they're so confused. And it might be a non-issue because, he wants to be king. And so far he's getting away with stuff. So this fake trial, and I swear I'll shut up in a minute because I'm going to take all these comments. This fake trial is like, it's just getting to me. It's like a murderer getting to run his own trial, demanding that there be no witnesses and no information. And it's not really a trial then. That's just called a kind of farce, an act. There's only one word I can say. Okay, there's more. I lied. Cover up. 2 words. Cover up. I mean, this is ridiculous. And why we're not swarming the Senate, why we're not, I don't know. People just don't care. I think we should all be absolutely enraged. This is our country we just don't care enough. Too many people don't care. Cover up. Today, I truly believe, yesterday and today, we are witnessing the biggest national cover-up we have probably ever had, at least in my lifetime. America is a government of pure corruption now. Just my opinion. Don't hate me for it. But let me take some questions, and then I want to know what you think. Okay, I'm going to back it up. Let me see, I'll back it up a little more. Okay, I think I caught up to where we are. Dave, you're very welcome. He knows his stuff very well. Oh, Michael, thank you. Yes, he was very, very wonderful. Good point. That is why if there's a presidential candidate who is polling exceptionally well among African Americans, I think it's important to pay attention. Yeah, I mean, all I know for me, and a lot of people have given up. I haven't given up, but I will vote for a rock over. Okay, see this little like clay tool? I will vote for this. See this clay tiger? They'll be on the ballot before I ever could vote for somebody like him. He is a monster. Anyone would be better. A 5-year-old would be better. Okay, I'm going on and on. All right, so let Let me see. Let me see. James says, keep speaking the truth. And I plan to, and I kind of already read that. Sorry. Quentin, all presidential candidates this election term suck. Democrats are just like the Republicans, if not worse. At least Republicans are honest and upfront about their racism. I've heard that 100 times. And I know a lot of people feel that way. I do, but as a special education teacher, I'm really into the details. Not all sickos are created equal. And I absolutely get what you're saying. But I still think, like, a lot of people are going to want to vote for Trump if they're not anybody good. And I don't blame anyone for being completely. Here's the thing. How many centuries does a people wait to have horrific wrongs? Not for more than everyone else has, just for some equity. I mean, a day, a week, a century, 2, 5. You tell me, because I don't know. But this is out of control. We shouldn't even be having to talk about this. This should be something we look at as barbaric as in the olden days when they'd have, people go into arenas and fight animals. We should be like, that's a sick shit. Systemic racism. I think it's just a nightmare. This should not even be part of anything we ever have to discuss. It should be something we find in an old textbook that we just shake our heads, because that is so, so, so long ago. But yet here we are. Thank you, Quentin. That was a great comment. Pat, well, the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment is not for Black people. Or maybe the opposite, actually. I know what you're saying. Maybe it is. I mean, think about the 13th with its little clause of mass incarceration. Maybe that's exactly what it is. But I know what you're saying. I'm just doing an inverse thing. Yeah, absolutely. James, the elites run the world. Yeah. And supposedly this nation of the people, for the people, by the people. I don't know what people they're talking about, but it's not everybody. Letitia, we should be communist. Well, hey, at this point, usually with the fall of Rome, they're either going to turn dictator or kind of go that way. I mean, I'm not an expert in history by any means, but this is not good. This is not good. He has circumvented our Constitution, which we rely on for our checks and balances. I don't have to agree with everything people say. I've lived through Republican presidents before. This isn't about politics. It's not about politics. It's never been about politics. I'm not even a Democrat. I have no affiliation to any party. This is about being human. And I'll say it over and over. Let me see, Mark. Racism plus mental illness equals World War III. Yeah, that's actually a good little, it does ring true. Letitia, so whites will start World War III because of color. Well, right. Okay, so this is Letitia. So whites will start World War III because people of color cannot be racist. Yeah, no, see, it's not a two-way thing when the power differential isn't, equivalent. It's a one-way thing. It's like, let's say you have a kid who's kind of a little mouthy, and they're always, telling you this and telling you that, and you're saying, look, son, daughter, I can't let you talk to me that way. If you continue to do so, you'll have some consequences. So you need to probably, consider not. And then your husband says, you two stop fighting. It's like, no, that wasn't fighting. We're not equals. Well, that's kind of an analogy. It can't be somebody's fault when they don't have the power. Okay. And that is ludicrous. Yet people stand up and pledge their allegiance to, liberty and justice for all. I just don't like the discrepancy between BS. We don't have liberty and justice for all. We have it for white folks, and that's for, more wealthy ones. Not all white folks, but most. But especially if you're super, super wealthy, you can buy your way out of anything. Well, I don't think that's the way the founding fathers, well, maybe they did, but it doesn't sound like a very humane way to be. So I'll just stop at that. Tisha, so yeah, I don't know what they'll be doing, but it'll be something. James, Democrat and Republicans are the same. Okay. A lot of people feel that way. They absolutely do. And I don't blame them. Do not blame them one bit. So I want to know, has anybody been watching this stuff? Some of the stipulations were just terrible, just all night. And, this is a joke. It's a joke. We can start talking about that in a second. I want to quickly go over, for Martin Luther King Jr. Day, I was disgusted by, I don't know what to say. I was disgusted by Kellyanne Conway and Trump's little twist and take. I can't say surprised. But a few days ago, this woman, Kellyanne Conway, is a senior advisor now to Trump, argued that Trump and Martin Luther King Jr. agreed on many things. And I cannot explain to you how that made me want to throw up. Because, see, I can't think of anybody more, opposite to the spirit of what he stood for to so many people. Trump's the opposite of that. So it kind of made me sick. I know I shouldn't be, it's just all trying to get people worked up and stuff. And they did. I got worked up over that. These parties are the right wing and left wing of America's bald eagle. Go figure. That's actually an interesting analogy. Yeah. I having two parties is a whole nother story, but thank you for, commenting. Tell me what you think. She went on to suggest that Dr. King would have, because she can speak for, oh my God, this is like the arrogance. The arrogance is like, oh, I'm laughing because it's terrifying that Dr. King would have opposed Trump's impeachment and removal from office. Seriously? I mean, that's embarrassing. It's just embarrassing to even say. It's just, okay, people. I'm sorry here, but this is truly, it's just an embarrassment. And what an insult to the memory of Dr. King. What an insult. My God. He stood for unity and equality. And I'm not saying he's a perfect person, but he did an amazing thing. And people are still saying he gave his life. He didn't. I'll say it one more time. He did not give his life. He was murdered. He was murdered. And I think that's a really important, words do matter. But anyway, so I'm kind of on a rampage here. Donald Trump, okay, so Dr. King stands for unity and peacefulness, and equity and equality. Donald Trump stands for racism, bigotry, and inequality. And one more thing, anything money that benefits him, he stands for that too. He is unconscionable. And obviously, can you tell I don't really care for the man? When I heard what he did to the young, they were children, the teenagers, young, the Central Park Five. When I read about that years ago, that's being a monster. That's a monster who does that. That's all I had to hear. I didn't watch his show. I knew he fired people a lot and liked saying you're fired, but I don't follow pop culture, so I didn't. I knew he was really, really rich and liked to talk about how rich he was. I knew he was arrogant but wow, when I read that, I was like, oh my God, that's terrifying. So anyway, so President Trump used Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s holiday, Monday, to tweet about how great he is, about him. And, it's kind of awful. He talked about how he's personally done amazing things for the African-American people, and he bragged about supporting gun ownership and all this on Marcelo. Greetings from Spain. Oh my gosh, good to have you. Yay, this is exciting. So we're talking about what's going on here, and it's pretty crazy. So basically our 45 decided that Martin Luther King Jr. Day was a day for him to talk about how great he is and how much he's done for non-white folks and black and brown and indigenous and Israelites and Hebrew. Oh my God, it was like, talk about embarrassing. I mean, I just get embarrassed, like, oh my God, please make him stop. And it's not because I feel as one with him. It's just, I feel embarrassed when people say things that are just make them look like a friggin' moron. So that's what he did, talked about himself, and talked about how great he's done for African-American people, and insinuating that he's responsible for the low unemployment rate, being the lowest in, the history of the world, basically, is what he was trying to say. But in his usual style of spewing complete BS, he forgot a couple things. We can do our own research, and we do, some of us, and he's full of it. So after doing a little checking with Associated Press, thank you so much, Associated Press, for all your work, Trump forgot to mention a few things. That the unemployment rate for all Americans, Black, white, Mexican, Latino, Asian, you name it. I'm missing 1,000 people, but has gone down, 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 not up and down, down, since the 2008 recession. And this is according to his own Bureau of Labor Statistics. It's his own bureau. So, I mean, the whole thing's ridiculous. He also forgot to mention that the rate of supposed African-American unemployment is still nearly double that of supposed white people. So this is all relative. And lastly, he forgot to mention that the biggest drop, he'd never say this, my God, came under the Obama administration. So his son, Martin Luther King Jr. III, went on the news and spoke a bit. I don't know if you all saw that or heard that. I got to watch a little bit, and had some words to say. It was very nice. See, I'm not very nice because he's a spokesperson. I'm just nobody. So I can kind of speak the truth in maybe not a nice way, or maybe a blunt way, or I try to be nice. I guess I try to be. I'm not trying to hurt people. I'm trying to get the truth out. And if you're really sweet and darling and you don't really have a name for yourself, nobody listens to you. And so it's better to speak the truth and have a couple people be like, ooh, But anyway, so what he had to say was that Martin Luther King Jr. III said that he's been traveling around the country for quite some time, and people between 18 and 30, the unemployment rate's 40, 50, 60. There's a quote from him, 50, 60 in some African-American communities. He's just not seeing it, what Trump's spewing. And he feels that if the Black communities were so well off, we see it. We'd be seeing it in the field, so to speak. He says every day, poor people in Black communities are killed. This is a quote from him. They're living on the street, some people are. And the vast majority of homeless people, way larger percentages, are people of color and Black and brown and indigenous people. It's not a coincidence. We do this. Systemic racism is not an accident. It's not. And when I was really young, I used to, I'm just reading the Spanish things. I used to think, oh, the people just don't get it. Like the white people, they don't understand. Like when I was really like a little kid, we just have to teach them. Well, I'm not so naive now. Some people we do have to teach, and I'm perfectly fine with that. But some people, they don't want to get it. So he definitely, he called the homelessness issue that we have in the United States. I'll read the quote. He said, in a $1 trillion economy, he said, the audacity we have to have homeless people in such a wealthy place. And I absolutely agree with him. It's unconscionable. Nobody should not have a home. Nobody. This is America, the America we like to speak of. Nobody. Oh, Pat, you're taking off. Thank you for being here, Pat. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, Pat's just awesome for me. Thanks for being here, Pat. Sorry, kind of blabbing on and on. But anyway, I'm going to back up and take some comments. And let me see. Of course, I backed up a little too far. Oh, James, I love your comment, but I can't read it because I might get in trouble. I got a little bit in trouble from YouTube. Nothing I said, but just a post that everybody has out. So they're really cracking down. So you can write it, but I just can't read it. But everyone else can. Yeah, no, James, the sheep. Alicia, okay. Oh, I went too far up. Sorry about that. Let me see. Mr. FS Black, I choose to be unaffiliated with any political party. As Chris Rock once said, this country has a gang mentality. Everyone is a Democrat, Republican, etc. Nobody can just be a person anymore. Interesting. I didn't know he said that. Interesting. And Marcelo, greetings. Greetings from Spain. I actually, yo hablo un poco español, pero no soy muy mal. ¿Entiendes? I take Spanish lessons. I'm terrible. So you can laugh at me or practice with me. I'm terrible. Let me see. Big Demon. What about the gun law in Virginia? Yeah, we talked about that last week. Credible threats. I don't know. Tell me, what do you want to talk about that? Bring it up. I'll read whatever you write, as long as it's, not too out there crazy. People are really upset. I've always been an advocate for common sense gun laws. If you are severely mentally ill and prone to violence, no, you probably don't want a gun. Okay, it's not in your best interest to have a gun. I go by the stats. You kill yourself or someone else. Okay, but I am not anti-Second Amendment. Personally, I'm not sure if that's what you're asking, but if somebody makes credible threats and there's going to be a rally with thousands and thousands of people, it's common sense to maybe not have people bring all their weapons. There's been 3 credible threats that the governor found. And I mean, just think of the opposite. What if he says, we got 3 credible threats, great intel, but who gives a shit? Everyone, come on, bring your guns. I mean, talk about liability. It's the least he had to do. And I know it's a tough thing because Virginia's Chambers is all Democrat now, and people are afraid they're going to make. I guess they're afraid they're going to make common sense gun laws, quite frankly. And so I don't know. I got some issues with that, but yeah, it's scary, and I hope nothing bad happened, but anyway, I'm glad that he did what he did. Let me see. Adrenaline Rush 22. You could take in some homeless and help solve the problem. Oh my gosh, absolutely. I don't want to talk about personal life, but yeah, no, oh God, in a heartbeat. I've done stuff like that. I don't want to tell my stories. This is not about me, but I absolutely, oh my gosh. I actually looked into, you're going to laugh. In a heartbeat. I looked into, some of the kids that were separated at the border and some of their parents that wanted to stay with them but didn't have relatives. I looked into trying to get a hold of, a way I could help them. I've been doing all that stuff. They make it really hard to do. You think, oh, that'd be such an easy thing. But I mean, they wouldn't even let doctors come in and give them people at the border inoculations, and they're in close quarters. So anyway, but yeah, I would love, that would be a dream come true. Thank you for mentioning that. That's absolutely something I'd love to do. Let me see. Anton, tell a long lie enough and you can fool the world. Well, right. Trump said it himself. He just says the same thing over and over and over again and he didn't say this, but I am, until you take the truth and then a lie, and then people who don't look up stuff on their own think, well, maybe it's somewhere in between, when no, it's still the truth. There's no somewhere in between. We are suckers because we don't want to do research because it takes a lot of time and it hurts to think, and it's, all that stuff. So since the fairness doctrine is gone from so long ago, people don't have to tell us the truth. News reporters, they don't have to speak the truth. They have to come a little close, but not, well, Fox News. It's entertainment. It's lies. While you were watching, all these horrible things Trump's doing, if you flip over to Fox News, it's state-sanctioned news. They're talking about something completely nothing to do with it. So it's really, really crazy. But anyway, I'm blabbing. Let me see here. So I finished that part. Right. Next comments. Spain sounds like a great place to be right now. Maybe we'll have him tell us if it is. I have a couple friends who live in Spain. They have some comments about Spain too. We got issues all over the place, but yeah, right now, anywhere does seem. I think we are watching and witnessing the fall. This is a pivotal moment. Yesterday, today, the beginning of what maybe historians will call the end, beginning of the end. Maybe the beginning of the end was when the Tea Party people came. Maybe that was the beginning of the end, but it's kind of hard when you're living it to know what the beginning of the end is. And I'm not an expert. I'm just a person. Nobody. Virginia is the first southern state to have these common sense gun laws, and for gun fanatics, it's those parts that Armageddon. It's like Armageddon for them. Yeah, and I have always been just really, really common sense. One of the most shocking and moving things I have ever heard was from a Sandy Hook, and I've said this before, I hate to repeat, a Sandy Hook doctor who was a first responder when those little 6-year-olds were shot up. And he was being interviewed. And he what the doctor said, he's an emergency room doctor, and a local one. So, I mean, he could have known some of the kids. He said, were you afraid that you might know somebody when the bodies were brought in? And when the people, were brought in, and you know what his response was? What bodies? There are no bodies when a rifle, and a war-style rifle, shoots a little child. He goes, there are parts. There were no bodies. And I was like, damn, that always common sense. That'll stay with me the rest of my life. Common sense. So I found that to be moving. Reading it, I was like, holy shit. Oh my God, common sense. See, we don't have I won't get into it, but our nation doesn't have a comprehensive mental health care system. We don't have that. So that's not good. You can't have both, like mentally ill people who are untreated, because mental illness is just like a physical illness, but we just don't admit that because we have hangups, we have issues. So yeah, I won't get into it, but you could solve the homeless. I don't think I could solve the homeless problem, but yeah. Anton, oops. Okay, off I go. I'm scrolled the wrong way. Dave, great comment. Adron, what do you think of the coronavirus in China? Okay, quarantining 11 million people. I read about it, but I didn't read in depth enough to have an opinion. Because I'd have to actually read the medical part of it. I don't know anything about it, but yeah, I heard about that, and it's definitely something that I should look into. So if I don't know about it, I won't give an opinion, because I don't want to be like that. So, but good question. Thank you for reminding me. Very important. What do you think of? Oh wait, I already read that. Oh, it was repeated. Okay, gotcha. Important than anything discussed yet. The virus, animal-borne virus that is now spreading human to human. Ah, interesting. Okay, yeah. See, I didn't know that. It's not bad. That's a possibility. Really? He's saying a plane. So you're a plane from Wuhan just landed in New York City. Goodness. Well, I will definitely start looking into it. I've been with this platform is mostly to talk about systemic racism, bigotry, and inequality in America. And it seems like everything kind of fits in there somehow. You can just follow the trail. It sounds man-made to me, Anton. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look into it. But I can't really speak to it right now. I apologize. But what I wanted to do right now is, but no, great points. I appreciate. Did I skip something? I swear I skipped something. I'm so bad. Okay, if I did, just throw it in. It's so me to skip things. The impeachment trial is my next topic. And definitely Adrenaline Line Rush 22, jump on in and put the information that you know, because I don't know enough to speak on it. So I listened to this woman who I admit I did not know who she was before. She's a Democrat from California, where I used to live, and she had some pretty strong words to say today at the impeachment trial. Zoe Lofgren, does anybody know of her? She had some wise words, I thought. She was very motherly, and she said no one knows precisely what the documents and testimony of witnesses will be because we don't get to see them. My point before I go on into her stuff is that, see, if we don't get to see, then we don't get to know. And so it's not really a trial. It's everyone should want to know the truth, but for some reason we don't. I want to know the truth. Like when we talk about systemic racism and white people, I want to know the truth. And the truth's really, really bad. It's barbaric. It's take what you think it was, and the more I learn, multiply it by a bazillion, gazillion, sorry, not a number, but you get my point, and you might be getting close. So I don't know why people are so afraid of the truth. I mean, obviously, Trump could be in a lot of trouble. That's probably why. But I just don't, I don't get it. I just want to know the truth, whether it's the good, the ugly, the whatever. I just want to know what happened. I don't know if what he did was a crime. All that stuff. I have no idea. Do I not like him? I don't like him personally because he's inhumane. But I have no idea if that's separate from criminal, like, doing a crime as a president. I have no idea. Would I like him to go away? Absolutely. But do I believe that he must have done this? I don't know. I just want him to go away because he's not a nice person. But I don't know I don't know what the standards are. I'm not an attorney. So anyway, so yeah, it's just people don't want the truth. And she was saying that we simply want the truth, and most Americans, according to the most recent polls, want to know what's going on, no matter what party they're in. They want to know what's going on. They want to know that our government has this kind of checks and balances. And right now, them not having, just talking about it and going, okay, we're not even going to have a real trial because there's no witnesses and think about how bad off we are. It means our Constitution is pretty much null and void because you're president, you get to do it whatever the fuck you want. And that's terrifying because, see, that's just terrifying. So she said the American people deserve to know the truth and that every single American, regardless of party affiliation, especially those sitting in the chamber where the impeachment trials take place, really should be very, very interested. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Very, very interested in the truth. The truth has been made into a partisan issue, and that's disgusting. like I said, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm a humanist. And that's about the only label I'd give myself. Well, maybe not, but the other labels I wouldn't get into here. Not a single, she said, went on to say, not a single president has categorically refused to cooperate with an impeachment investigation. I mean, I believe that's probably true. Not a single president has issued a blanket statement directing his administration to produce 0 documents and no witnesses and no one with a direct knowledge. But then, like, he wants it both ways. No one has direct knowledge, so I'm not guilty, but I won't let anyone talk about it. It's ridiculous. I don't even need to tell you. So we have, it's sad, but this is what's happening. And I'm sorry, but this trial is making a mockery of our Constitution and a total joke of our nation. If it could be made more of a joke, I don't know if it could. I'm just really sad because I think I'm watching, sitting here. I didn't think it'd be in my lifetime, but I guess surprise, surprise. But anyway, I feel like our nation's kind of a joke, and the trial it's going to set precedent for years to come. The president can do whatever the hell he wants. Sorry, another swear word. He can do whatever he wants, or she. And is that really what we want? I don't care what team you're on. Stevie, hello. Thank you for being here. Yay. Just hearing me rant on and on. It's a joke. Why don't they just say we're not going to do it and just go away? It's like, I mean, I'm being very, very honest. I don't like him. I think he's a horrible person. I think he's everything, bad. Gus Killa, hello. But I'm not an attorney. I don't know if what he did was, essentially impeachable, as in kick him out. But not having a trial at all, damn, that's some dangerous territory, because now it's a free-for-all. So this trial is going to set a precedent for us. 3 of them, and I'm just kind of my take, I guess you could say. Number 1, that America's government is corrupt as hell. I think most of us kind of already might have thought that, but I didn't think it was this bad, but it is. And that the president and his clan are above the law. They, people say, oh, we don't want them above our, they are above the law. This is the law, and they're above it. They don't have to be, put through a trial when they've been accused of a crime. And yeah, they're above the law. They're above the law. And maybe I'm naive to believe that our government was ever for the people, by the people, of the people. But that's kind of, I can only work with the information I have. And the third thing is that this trial will mark the official end of our democratic republic, in my very opinionated opinion. I bet in history books somewhere around here is going to be the point. He wants to be king. He's circumvented our Constitution over and over again. He's stuffed judges who think like him, who he owns. It's like so crazy. So I'm gonna end it right there. Jump on in. Tell me what you think. I'll read anything unless it's like just off the charts. Okay. And then I will say good night to everybody. Let me see. Oh, I gotta back up. Okay. I'm backing up. Adrenaline rush 22, animal-borne virus that is now spreading human to human. I read that part already. Oops. A plane landed in New York City. It scrolls like crazy. I swear I'm not trying to be all goofy here. Happening news. Democrats would have leaked anything incriminating. Trump will be fine. Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. I don't know how that works. I'm not into politics. In fact, the only reason I am a little into politics is because Trump has established himself very much so as an overt racist and bigot and a misogynist person and all that. So that kind of, he crossed the line. So then I'm like, damn it, I have to learn about politics. Oh God, I like social issues. politics, to me, even the word means that you're disingenuous. Politics, just I just like to be real and say it like it is. And I don't know. It's an issue I have, maybe someday I'll be able to get through it somehow. But politics, the whole thing is ridiculous. Just be humane to people. How's that? I don't think it's as complicated. But I guess it is. He'll be fine. Yeah, he's not fine though. He needs help. He needs help. And a lot of people say, "Oh, you're such a hater." It's like, if Trump was hanging off a cliff, about to die, I would, in a heartbeat, go save him. I don't let people with mental illness set my standards. I don't let people who have lost their way set my standards for him. I don't hate him. I'm just beyond frustrated with the people who have been co-conspirators to his sickness. But he hasn't really lied at all, in the sense, hold right there, in the sense that he said, I mean, I've watched all the stuff he said since he started to run. He said, basically, and you can watch my old videos, and I say it like it is. He said, I'm going to, and not in these words, but I'm going to take away every possible civil and human right from my own constituents that I possibly can, to already, numerical minority groups that are already horribly oppressed. And he has done that. He made a promise. I believed him. And he's stuck to it. And yes, he's lied over and over and all that. But I'm saying he said what he was going to do. And I was appalled years and years ago, 3 or 4, when he first started campaigning or whatever. And everything I've seen, I've done tons of research. He's doing it. He even tried to attack the 1964 civil rights law to change the definition. He had his attorneys look into changing the definition so that you would have to be prosecuted for being discriminating, to be prosecuted, that you would have to prove intent. Okay, right now, it doesn't matter what your intent is. If you discriminate, then you have discriminated. But he obviously didn't get anywhere. His lawyers probably laughed in his face. I don't know. But I'm talking, he's done what he's promised, to harm people horribly. So, I mean, that, I don't know if I give him credit for that, but that's, yeah, he is consistent with who he is. Absolutely. I don't think he's been inconsistent at all. It's been appalling, but still. All right. Stop blabbing me. I will stop. Let me see. Woo. POL made me watch this. I don't really know what that means. So I'm going to just say, I don't know what that means. If you want to explain that, WEW, you got to explain that. Teach me. Happening news. I swore. No swear words, please. I know I'm really bad. I have a potty mouth. I can't help it. Happy news. I agree. This is a giant joke. Yeah. And, whatever. I think any reasonable person would be like, this isn't really a trial, kind of. And Stevie, I hope you're here still. And Ghost Killa Muppy, happy you're here. What a waste of taxpayer money from the beginning. Yeah, I mean, it's a charade, I guess you could say. And I just like honesty. I mean, I just like honesty. Like, be real. But I have to say, I'll give Trump some credit. He is way, 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 way worse than I thought he'd be. And I thought he'd be pretty bad. But he's outdone himself. Just saying. I'm giving him credit. Okay. Let me see here. Happening news. The precedent was already set when Clinton was impeached for perjury. I didn't have relations with that woman. And the Senate voted that he was not guilty when it was objectively evident he was. Yeah. That's a very, very true thing. And it's kind of funny because when I think about that, I think to myself, okay, he got impeached for that. I'm sorry. So stinking what? That's like, it means nothing to me compared to, I guess you could say real I think the impeachment was the lying part. The lying was probably what was emphasized. But yeah, it was set. Probably a good point. That was probably a bad thing. But see, everything's so subjective. I mean, he got caught, I guess you could say, because I get the feeling a lot of presidents have done things like that. But this is, to me, a little different. And it's not because I'm a Democrat. It's because I'm a human. And see, the lying, lie after lie. And the lying just, I mean, off the charts lying. Not just a little lying, but I'm talking like off the charts. Like saying Russia, remember how he was saying Russia since 2004 has played a role in intervening and messing with 27 different countries' elections. Raise your hand. Did you know that? 27 different countries. So when you have Trump out there, a couple of years back, I didn't do it. Russia, what? He's so full of shit. That's what gets me, is his total bullshit that he pulls. 27 different countries. That's according to Trump's governmental people. Well, I don't know if he thinks there is, but that's according to his people. Okay, so I can't stand the BS. That's the part that kills me. So yeah, a precedent was set, but it's kind of like, it seems like there's no comparison. Really, I don't know. What can I say? Okay, some stuff's coming through. I'm not sure what it is. So I'm going to skip it. What about the Brother Garachi? And you'll see the history repeats. Yeah, it does. It does repeat. We don't seem to, how people say, like, you learn history so you'll never repeat it. But I kind of think we are, maybe we're not learning very well. Maybe, yeah. I know Martin Niemöller was a pastor back in Germany during the Third Reich, and he was imprisoned by Hitler, actually, himself. He was imprisoned as a special prisoner because he was an academic. And he is the one who was I'm sure many of you have heard of this. He wrote, and I'm not going to quote him exactly, it was not a poem, but more of a saying he'd say to his students. He was a professor. He'd say, first they came for the Unionists. I wasn't a Unionist, so I did nothing. Next they came for this group. I wasn't that group. And then finally they came for me, and there was nobody left to do anything. And he had terrible regret in not doing more. Not doing more, as he saw things slowly, edging up to become a regime in a state of, Nazi state. And he had a lot of regret. And I read that, and I was taught that when I was like 6 years old. And maybe at the time I didn't get it, but I definitely kept it in my head all this time. And I gotta say, I guess a lot of people haven't heard that. Maybe a lot of people haven't heard that or learned it, or taken it for what it is. He warned us. He came ahead of us. It's history, but we didn't give it. We didn't care. I don't know. Getting interesting out here. Let me take some more comments, and then I will say good night. I appreciate your take. But yeah, the precedent was set. Ghost Killa, I think somebody's sending a link of this live stream to one of those loser websites to send its trolls to silence you. Oh, nothing can silence me. I have such a big mouth. But no, it's okay. I'm good. I'm not worried. Let me see. We're wrapping it up anyway. What are your thoughts about the Holocaust? Personally, I believe that the evidence doesn't match up. In a nutshell, it's history. I disagree with you 1000%. That's a what's it called? Conspiracy theory. I go with the best practices, best stats known to, most social science, etc., etc. I won't get into why I disagree with you 1000%, but I do. But yeah, it's, if you want, I know, if you want to think that, I understand that. I don't, but I disagree. I read on Vice News that POL was a board piece. I don't know what that means. I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. I'm going on and on and on. Let me see. Oh my God, these people are so funny. That's hilarious. Guys, on there. I'm going to wrap it up for tonight, but please check out my videos. Check out my videos. I love to have everybody coming by. And last time, I'm going to just say this again. Last time I had people who were kind of like trolls on here. What happened was I kind of made a, oh, thanks, Anton. Thanks for being here. And thank you for everybody who's legitimately here to actually really, really be, kind of like learning, listening, teaching, whatever, teaching us. What I wanted to say was last time somebody told me that the people who came on to troll were from 4chan and they were incel people. And I kind of know what that is. I kind of don't. But I've always wanted to interview somebody, like for real. I'm dead serious, okay? You silly, silly people. If you know somebody, get a hold of me. I'm in. And I didn't think they were, but I'm just saying. I don't know where they got that from, if that was like a real thing or just a made-up thing, or just like a thing to be mean, kind of. Like just a mean thing. But if you know somebody, oh my gosh, totally get me, because I want to do an interview. I interview all these different things, so that's what I do. And anyway, I will say a good night and thank you for being here. If you feel like I do, that it's way past time for white America to learn about our own racial history, learn how to talk about racism, and you guys are so funny. Oh my God, it's killing me. Please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel and say hi to me. Write to me personally and say hi. I would love it. I'll write back. If you write something really, really rude and crude, I probably won't put it through. But if it's like kind of legit, I will. Okay. So thanks for being here. And I hope to see you at the next live show. I do them Tuesday and Wednesday nights at 9. And thanks for being here. All right. Good night, everybody. This has been interesting. And I will read everything, I promise. Good night, everybody. Thanks.